Hello and welcome to this Tygron Geodesign Platform video tutorial on panels. After watching this tutorial, you will be familiar with what panels are and how they can enhance your project. You will be able to add panels to your project to provide your end users with more information in your project. To start, have your project open in the editor. A panel is an additional interface element which the end user will be able to access. There aren't any in a project by default. Go to Indicators, Panels. You will see a list of all panels in the project divided between two categories, template panels and single panels. This tutorial will focus on the single panels. Single panels are panels which are individually defined. For each panel you make, a single panel is added to the project. At the bottom of the list of panels, which is currently empty, select the Text Panel option and then Add Panel. This will add a panel to the project, the content of which is defined as simple text. Open the Single Panels category and select your new text panel. In the Panel Text field, you can enter any text you wish to present to the end user when they open the panel. Enter, "Hello, this is my text panel." Now select Open Panel. You will see the panel open in the session interface, displaying the text we just entered. An easy way of making the panel accessible is by placing it as a pop-up in the 3D world itself. Use the Set Point button in the right panel to place the panel in a specific location in the 3D world represented by a pop-up. The pop-up can be clicked to open the panel. Now that the panel is available to the end user, we can configure how it looks. First, we can change the title by changing the content of the name field. Change it to Example Panel. Next, we can change the size to better fit the amount of content in the panel. Change the values of width and height to 250 and 150 respectively. The pop-up in the 3D world is currently a green checkmark. You can change this model by changing the value of Model. These are all the basic principles of panels, demonstrated with just one type of panel. There are a few more types of panel available. At the bottom of the left panel, select the type Web Panel and then Add Panel. The web panel displays a web page. You can set the web address in the web link field. Now when we open the panel, you will see a panel appear with the indicated website opened in it. This allows for some level of dynamic or actualized content. You can also add a panel of the global panel type. This is a panel which allows end users to change the values of globals during a session. We won't be covering the uses of globals in this tutorial, but if we add a few globals to this project, we can see the added globals are selectable for this panel. Select a few globals and open the panel. The panel will now open and display input fields for each selected global. The end user can use these to change the values of the globals during a session. Note that when this panel is used to change those values, this is an interaction in the session, and the test run will start. To continue editing, stop the test run. The last type of single panel you can add to a project is an Excel panel. This is a panel which is defined by an Excel file. This is a great way to display data which relates directly to the project. You can even let the Excel files perform calculations to process and format the data before display. An easy way to demonstrate this is by adding a predefined indicator to the project. We'll quickly add a heat stress indicator to demonstrate this. You can then use the option Select Excel Sheet To select the same Excel sheet for the panel as is already used for the indicator, in this case heat.xlsx. Now, when you open the panel, you will see the relatively complex content of the indicator in the panel. There's formatting, there's some coloring, and there is data derived from the actual session. Creating your own Excel file is beyond the scope of this tutorial, but you can see the potential with the ability to define your own formatted content and use queries to get data from the session to enrich that content. For example, displaying information on the housing situation or the livability, or performing your own calculations based on one or more pieces of data from the project. One final trick for panels involves how an end user may open a panel. The easiest way to make a panel available is by placing it in the 3D world, as we have done. But it is also possible to add it to a user's action menu. This requires setting up an action menu to trigger an event to open the panel. Go to Stakeholders, Event Bundles, and create a new event bundle. We're going to name it Panel Bundle, but any name will do. Add a client event to the bundle. It will appear in the list of events as No Def, that stands for No Definition. Select it. As event type, select Show Custom Panel. A few input fields will appear. For the panel ID, select the panel you wish to open. Make sure the Visible checkbox is checked. Now click on Commit. This saves these settings to the event. Next, go to Stakeholders, Actions, and add an action menu. As the only assigned action in this new action menu, select the event bundle we just created. We named it Panel Bundle. Now, when the newly created action menu is clicked, the panel is opened. These are the basics of creating your own panels in a project, which end users can then use to interact with the session. You have now learned how to create your own panels to provide the end user with information. Has this tutorial helped you, and would you like to find out more? Be sure to check out some of our other video tutorials.